مرحبا أصدقائي وأهلا وسهلا فيكم مرة تانية بالقناة. إذا كنتم مشتركين جدد بالقناة بعرفكم عن نفسي، أنا مس غادة، وبهي السلسلة رح تتعلموا اللغة الإنجليزية عن طريق القصص القصيرة. هي طريقة ممتعة وسلسة بالتعلم ورح تقوي عندكم مهارة الليسنينج والفوكابيلاريز. خليكم معنا. قصتنا اليوم عنوانها Hide and Seek، معناها لعبة الغميضة. المطلوب منكم أصدقائي المشاهدين هو إنكم تستخرجوا المفردات أو العبارات الغريبة عليكم وتحاولوا ترجموها بالتعليقات، ورح تابع كل تعليقاتكم ونرد عليها جميعا إن شاء الله. Hide and Seek. A simple game of hide and seek leads the children into the adventure of their lives. An exciting story that will have little readers turning the pages, eager to know what comes next. James, his sister Sally, and Mark, their best friend forever, were bored. They had played all day, but now that it was dark and difficult to see, they had nothing to do. They couldn't play soccer because they couldn't see the ball. They didn't want to go inside and play a game because it was a beautiful springtime night and they liked being outside, especially after having to play inside all winter long. They just didn't know what to do, and it was a little too early for them to go home. "I guess I'll just go home," Mark said in a sad voice. "Oh, come on," replied James. "We still have time for another game of something." Then Sally said, "I have an idea. Let's play hide and seek." "I was just going to say that," James said. "Yeah, I'll bet," replied his sister. "You always say you were thinking of whatever I think of," she snapped. "Do not," James said in a loud voice. "Do too," yelled Sally. Mark just looked down at the ground and shook his head from side to side. "They are at it again," he mumbled to himself. Then he yelled, "Okay, let's play hide and seek. I'll be the seeker." He turned, faced a big tree, closed his eyes, and started counting out loud. 100, 99, 98, 97. Sally and Mark stopped arguing, looked at each other, and ran off in different directions to find a hiding place. In the distance, they could still hear Mark counting. 4, 3, 2, 1. "Ready or not? Here I come." Then he turned and began looking for places where they could be hiding. Finding Sally was easy. She always ran off and then circled back, so she would be close to base, the safe place to get to before being tagged. Mark looked for the biggest tree and ran towards it. But she wasn't there. "I'll bet she's behind that big bush," he said to himself. So he ran to it and was ready to tag her. But she wasn't there either. As he turned around, he saw James running towards base, and darted after him. Just before he touched James' shoulder, James tagged the base and yelled out, "Safe!" "Did you get Sally yet?" James asked. "No," said Mark. "I haven't been able to find her, and it's getting late. And we need to be heading home." So both boys yelled out, "Come on out, Sally. It's late." But there was no reply. Not even a little snicker from somewhere in the darkness. They yelled again, "Come on out, Sally. It's late." Still there was no reply from Sally. They began to worry and started searching for her. As they walked around the area, they called out, "Sally, come on! We give up! You're safe!" But no matter where they looked or how much they called out, Sally didn't answer. It was as if she disappeared. Sally was wondering what had happened. All she could remember was crawling under the big trunk of a fallen tree to hide. Now, as she looked up, she saw several stars through a small hole above her head. She had fallen into a hole when she crawled under the tree trunk. "Help!" she yelled, and heard her voice echo throughout what must have been a cave. "Help! Help! Help! Help!" "Did you hear that, James?" Mark said excitedly. "Sally just yelled for help." "Keep yelling, Sally!" James screamed. "That way we can find you." Sally heard her brother and kept screaming. After a short while, the boys were standing next to the big tree trunk. "Hey, are you stuck under this tree?" asked James. "Kind of," Sally yelled. "When I crawled under it to hide, I fell into a cave. Please help me, I'm scared. It's dark and I can't get out." Mark said, "James, you stay with Sally. I will go get my dad." Then he dashed off into the darkness. "Don't be scared," James said. "I am right here with you." "No, you're not," Sally sobbed. "You're up there and I'm down here." As Sally turned in the darkness of the cave, she bumped into something, screamed, and began to cry. "What's wrong?" James yelled. "There's something down here with me," Sally replied in a shaky voice. Just then, Mark and his dad came running through the woods. Mark's father knelt down and asked Sally if she was okay. He could hear her crying and sobbing. "Sally, are you hurt?" he asked. "No," she said. "But I'm scared and there's something down here with me." "Stand back, Sally. I am lowering a rope and will be down with you in a second."